Hey there guys, Lord of Tunes here today. Haven't really been able to post a lot of videos due to pretty much, graduating, job, college, all that stuff. So I haven't really been big on making my videos at that time, focusing on other things. I thought I'd try and get back into it with the whole new year. So pretty much the deck profile today is going to be one of my favorites. Been testing it a lot, and I think it does pretty well in today's format. It's a Disaster Dragon build with using Ultimaya. With some really cool, fun extra deck stuff. So we're gonna put those guys, put the extra deck away, and we'll go straight into the main deck. So to start us off, the core, or technically the disaster portion of the deck. The three Quackimir Dragos, as predicted as every person who knows what this guy can do. Now a player can special summon Lighter Darks. Kills Cosmos. Cosmo players hate them. Every time I fight a Cosmo player and I could start with this first turn, they struggle so hard to get rid of these. And of course, if they do pop it, they do end up helping me in the end because we do run our Heretic engine in here. Speaking of the Heretic engine, we run 3 Esteds, 3 Tefnuits, 3 of the Sus. Pretty common Heretics. Not much to really go into detail with these guys. Pretty much, these guys make big, huge combos for you. Not really, again, don't need to go into much detail. If you need more details about them, put a comment down. The only two vanilla monsters I run, Labradora and Wattail. Mainly use him to get Ultimaya, use him for the rank 6 plays. If not that, you can also use both of them to make the Ultimaya play. The run Red Eyes, still pretty simple. Red Eyes goes in any dragon deck. I like to run this guy, Genesis Dragon. I'll explain why I run him. Pretty much what he can do is once per turn you get to discard a dragon monster from your hand to grab another dragon. And if he gets sent from the field to the grave, you can return all dragon monsters from your deck and shuffle them back into the, you return all dragons in your grave and shuffle them back into the deck. Funny part about, and of course with this deck, the whole extra deck is nothing but dragons. So if you do, so I like to think of it as a fiber jar almost for the deck. Not even that he is level 6, so you could still use him for Ultimaya. You're not going to be summoning him as much unless you get Red Eyes out. Aside from that, you could use, you could go Tefnuit, special summon Tefnuit, or summon Tefnuit, tribute, summon him, just grab Labradorite, then you can sync for Ultimaya, and use his effect to return everything. So it's a really good way to recycle him. You can use him or the Divine Dragon, the level 4, but I prefer him. I run triple Keeper of the Shrine. The reason I run him, even though it is Disaster and Quackimir Drago will prevent him from using his effect, what makes him nice is, one, he's a 2100 defender. Second, you can use him for double tribute if you do end up having Red Eyes in hand. You don't want to banish a monster. But the main reason I use him is he's tribute fodder for some of the extra deck. And he has a really good effect where if a dragon gets sent, if any of my dragons get destroyed, I can special summon one of these guys back up in defense mode, or summon one of these guys back. So it's a really good way to kind of stall a little bit. But again, the main reason I use this guy is for fodder. You can pop him, use him for Genesis Dragon's effect. Just pretty much use him for a bunch of other stuff, and then of course just resummon him with his effect. And the fun 2 monsters is a double card, just to kind of thin out the deck and put some consistency in it, so you can draw into what you need. That does it for the monsters. Spell lineup. I run only 1 Diamond Core, just to pretty much, if I need Drago pretty fast, I could just search him out with this. So it's pretty good. Obviously, Heretics, triple the seals. You gotta run these. Gets you to your combos and kind of thins out your deck a little bit more. I run one monster Reincarnation. As I said, you can use Keeper of the Shrine, discard him, and you could grab stuff back like Drago if it gets popped, or it's a good way to a little mini Genesis Dragon recycle some stuff. And then of course some staples, double MST and just 1 Regeki. Don't need to go into details with those. Trap lineup, I run triple Heretic Seal. I'm considering bumping this down to 2 and adding a Monarch Stormforth or Stormfront, whatever you. I don't know how you really pronounce that card, but that card that tributes. Mainly the reason I use this is it holds my opponent. If I have I can set summon Tefnuit, set this, and then pop his back row and still get pluses off him. So it takes a little bit more time, but 3 tends to. I might bump it down to 2 and run 1 Monarch Stormfront. Loop with Ultimaya with Scrap Iron Scarecrows. Aside from that, it does help you stall. So it's a really good, Scrap Iron good, set, blocks, and the resets. Pretty good card. Thing is, with Ultimaya, if you set it and then Ultimaya's effect goes off, you activate it, and then it resets. Ultimaya's effect will proc again. So it's a really, really deadly combo you could do with Ultimaya and spam your field with dragons. I run double memory loss. Surprisingly, this card is funny. It doesn't target. They have to be in face-up attack mode, though, but most people tend to put them in that way. And then it negates their effect and switches them to defense mode, which kind of puts a halt on them. It's really good to use stuff on Cosmo Dark Destroyer. For when Dark Destroyer gets summoned, he uses that effect to pop, memory loss it, and now he can't swing him at the 3k, and it's easy cleanup. And then, of course, you got to get by the other stuff he summons, but that's still pretty easy to get by. And then some pretty much simple staples. Compose, Warning, and Bottomless. Not much detail to go on those. Okay, so onto the extra deck. There's only 3 XCs I run in this deck, and that's double Heretic King and 1 Gaia Dragon, because sadly, I only got 1 of these guys. These guys are pretty hard for me to get. Standard Heretic monsters, you summon him, you can use his effect to grab Drago, Red Eyes, anything you really need. Then of course, you can use him for the Heretic Seal if you want to, and not go into Gaia Dragon. Gaia Dragon, mainly, if you do have Drago, you could still go into him and, put a little pressure on the opponent. Not much detail to go into the Heretic, the 3 XCs. The main thing is you're going to want is the cards for Ultimaya. So, start us off, we're going to do... I run double Ultimaya here. This is the main core of your deck right here. Needs just 1 tuner, 1 non-tuner, both the same level. Pretty much Labrador and any level 6 dragon. Excuse me. In this deck, his effect is if you once per turn when you set a card, set a back row, you can special summon any level 7 or 8 dragon type synchro. And while you control a synchro, you can't touch them really, unless you want a dark hole. But pretty much 2 seems to run really well in this deck. So onto the cards I use. I use Gungnir. Gungnir's pretty good. You can use his effect to discard your hand. If you want to try and thin out your hand a little bit. Mainly used to pop core cards like Pendulum Scales and all the Cosmo Towns. I'm mainly going to be thinking more about the high tier stuff. Another thing is most of the cards in this extra deck are going to be elemental, not light and dark as much. So if you do have Drago, you still got some stuff you can play. Aside from that, Gungnir is 2500 beater, which is pretty good. But yeah, mainly use him as a guide to blow up some cards. This guy is so much fun. People forgot about this guy. Dragunity Knight Trident. His effect is really tricky to use, but that's why I run Keeper of the Shrines and Dragos. His effect is you can target up to 3 cards, 3 of your cards, send them to the grave. Then you get to go through your opponent's extra deck and send that many to the graveyard. I fought against Pepe. Pepe hated this guy because they couldn't kill him because of my scrap irons. And every time they try and I kill their stuff, I just send Keeper of the Shrines, Dragos, anything I really don't need on my field, Heretic Seals, and then remove his cards in his extra deck and get rid of it. He ended up having to emit defeat because of just trying it alone. But this is a really cool guy. Again, too, if Drago's out, you can summon him still. He's really fun, and people come, and it gives you an idea. You can even just send 1 to go through your opponent's extra deck just to see what they have in there. Not really good against Cosmos, but you can get rid of some of the Cosmos extra deck, but there's no point. You kind of just want to get rid of the witches so they can't make those big ships. I run Michael in here, mainly just to banish. Aside from that, 2600 beat stick, not much to talk about him. I run both versions of the Black Rose. This one pretty much just a nuke, and that's it. This one to kind of try and bounce big things back into the hand. Aside being Dark Destroyer on Cosmos, I could bounce all the other big ships back. Not much really go into detail on those guys, on the two Black Roses. Hot Red Dragon, just a nuke off his field and then swing for 3k. Pretty decent card. Scrap Iron, pretty much target blow up. Pretty handy dandy. Really good if you wanted to use, if you have a keeper on the shrine in the grave and one on the field, target that one, target his card, blow it up. Then you get to summon that keeper of the shrine, the new one back. So it's like an endless rinse and repeat type of thing. It's a really good combo. Stardust Spark Dragon. Good guy. Usually if I could do a turn 1 Ultimaya, I tend to go into this guy just so I can protect Maya and protect him. So it's a really good card. Not even that, you use him to protect Drago. Can't use it, I don't think you can use it to protect his maintenance cost, but still, you can go into stuff like, alright, a King and summon Drago, then just constantly summon Red Eyes and then use this guy to constantly save him. So yeah, he's a really good guy. I might consider running 2 of these guys, but right now I'm just testing. I tend to be doing 5 with 1. Void Ogre Dragon. He's really good in combos with Gungnir. When you have no cards in hand, once per turn you can prevent. Let me just read the cards effect. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a spell or trap and you have no cards in hand, you can negate it. So he's really good in Gungnir. So if you want to play him, you could go into Gungnir next turn, or we go Gungnir, start discarding some stuff from your hand, like Keeper of the Shrines, all that, and stop at least one card, maybe a Raigeki, Dark Hole, lose 1 turn. I don't know, just whatever you feel like. And of course, I still run I run Star Eater in this deck just because of the Heretics. Not much to say about Star Eater. Star Eater just goes boom, boom, and we can win the game. So, the reason I kind of like this deck is because no one likes it. Everyone hates fighting against these type of decks, surprisingly. And again, as if you were noticing, everything in this deck is Dragon. So if the game prolongs way too much and everything does get in my grave, you got, of course, our buddy. I kept everything in order. Our Genesis Dragon here. This is the reason why. When he is sent from the field to the grave, you can recycle every single dragon that's in your grave back into your deck, including your extra deck stuff. So Genesis Dragon, not Genesis Dragon. If let's say they pop your Ultimayas, you still got a way to get Ultimaya back into the extra deck. But I'm considering maybe running 1 Stormforth just so I can play this guy faster. If not that, Tefnuits or Sues. Oh my goodness. But the deck seems to run really fun. Tends to hold up its own against these high tier stuff. Pepe, Magic Spectre, mainly Cosmos. Cosmos can't get enough of this deck. They hate him every time I fight him. And it's mainly because of this guy right here. Drago prevents them from doing anything. And then, of course, you go Spark Dragon, prevent him from being destroyed. Trident, Gungnir, anything you want. Pepe's have a problem with Trident because I know I'm not going to need Drago, so I can ditch Dragos and Keeper of the Shrines and just constantly recycle and cycle and keep dumping all of his extra deck away so he can't win. Because Pepe really doesn't have any good cards, I don't think. I really haven't fought Pepe's a lot. I've mainly been fighting a lot of Cosmos. But this deck's really good. I'm going to try and, bump up my channel again if I can. But if you want to leave a comment or like, if you have any ideas of other type of builds you want me to do or attempt to try, go right ahead and comment. It's been so long, I forgot how I usually do this. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this deck of my Ultimaya Disaster. And this will be Lord of Toons signing off. Thank you.